Lately, I've been seeing a lot of edits on Instagram with clips from the movie Limitless. In the movie, Eddie Mora goes from a broke, unfocused, directionless guy to someone operating at a completely different level. And that left me wondering, is it possible to try and recreate something similar to what Eddie is experiencing thanks to NZT48? The drug is fictional, but the characteristics Eddie displays are not. We're talking about laser focus, perfect memory, boundless energy, zero procrastination, and the ability to learn anything in days. Each one of them has a real biological mechanism behind it, and every single one can be deliberately developed through lifestyle changes that cost nothing. Obviously, we're not going to recreate the same exact effects of the movie, but through these changes, you too can operate at a higher level. Let's begin with the first one, laser focus. Eddie sits down and works for hours without breaking. No distractions, no mental wandering, just complete absorption in whatever he is doing. To recreate this effect, we have to understand that attention can be treated like a muscle that we can train. So the goal here is deliberate practice of sustained attention. Start with 25 minutes of completely distraction-free work. Phone in another room, one tab open, one task, nothing else. Do that once a day and extend it gradually over weeks. The brain adapts fast when you give it the right conditions. But training is not the only thing that matters. We also have to consider the negative effects of an overstimulated nervous system. If the first thing you do in the morning is check your phone, your brain is already reactive and scattered before the day has started. Regarding phones and social media usage, try to reduce the number of daily pickups, because each pickup is a distraction that breaks your focus. Most advice on the internet only focuses on screen time, but I feel like pickups deserve more attention, because the more you have in a day, the more your brain is used to interrupting whatever you should be working on. Now for the next effect, we have perfect memory recall. Eddie accesses information from years ago instantly and with complete clarity. Memory works through consolidation, which happens almost entirely during sleep. Every night, the brain takes what it experienced during the day and transfers it from short-term to long-term storage. Cut sleep, and that process gets interrupted. This is why people who are chronically sleep-deprived feel like their memory is getting worse, because it is. Beyond sleep, memory improves dramatically through active recall rather than passive review. Reading something once and moving on leaves almost no trace. Reading it, closing the book, and trying to recall what you just read without looking forces the brain to actually encode the information. It feels harder, but that difficulty is exactly what makes it stick. Which brings us to the next part, rapid learning. Passive consumption, reading, watching, listening without testing yourself only gives you the illusion of learning. You feel like you are absorbing information because you are familiar with it. But familiarity is not knowledge. Rapid learning comes from immediate application. Learn a concept, use it the same day. Learn 10 words in a new language. Use them in sentences immediately. The brain prioritizes information that it has used over information it has only seen. This applies to everything you want to learn. Testing yourself is the best way to learn faster. It tells your brain that you should remember something because it's useful. Another important thing is deep work. Deep focused blocks on a single subject, where you go further into one thing rather than touching multiple things, accelerate learning as well. Then we have extreme mental clarity. Brain fog as a term became insanely popular in the past few years. It is almost always caused by poor sleep, dehydration, blood sugar instability from poor diet, or a nervous system that never gets to fully switch off. The fastest way to clear it is also the most boring answer. Drink more water, eat less processed food, sleep properly, and spend time outside every day. Not as cool as popping some NZT48, I know, but if you stay consistent with these habits, you'll see a change in a matter of days. Exercise also helps in this. A 20 to 30-minute workout produces a measurable increase in cognitive sharpness that lasts for hours afterward. And finally, a concept that many of you probably already know, cold exposure. Even just 2 minutes of cold water at the end of a shower spikes norepinephrine sharply and produces a state of alert, clear-headed focus. Next, boundless motivation and drive. Eddie has zero procrastination. He just executes. Motivation is largely a function of dopamine, and dopamine is largely a function of how you have been treating your brain's reward system. When a person spends hours a day consuming social media, short-form video, and other sources of cheap instant reward, the brain's dopamine baseline recalibrates upward. Ordinary tasks stop feeling rewarding enough to bother with. Starting a project, going to the gym, doing the thing that actually matters, all feel harder than they should because the brain has been getting rewarded so easily elsewhere that real effort does not feel worth it. The fix is protecting the dopamine system. Cutting back on cheap stimulation, getting outside, exercising, doing things that require effort before accessing easy rewards. Over 2 to 3 weeks of this, motivation for meaningful work comes back naturally. It is also important to realize that motivation almost never comes before action. It comes during it. The hardest part is always the first 2 minutes. Getting started on something, even imperfectly, generates the momentum that makes continuing feel natural. And finally, let's talk about energy. Exercise is the most direct intervention here, and it compounds fast. Within 2 weeks of consistent daily movement, energy levels shift noticeably. The body gets better at producing and using energy, and the hormonal environment that exercise creates changes how a person feels and carries themselves throughout the day. Besides exercise, sunlight in the morning sets the hormonal rhythm for the entire day. Getting outside within an hour of waking, even for 10 minutes, regulates cortisol, improves mood, and sets the sleep cycle up correctly for that night. Breathing also matters more than people think. Chronic stress produces shallow breathing, which keeps the nervous system in a low-level alert state all day. Slowing the breath down, extending the exhale for even 5 minutes brings the body into a state that feels calmer, more present, and more capable. Now, as a little bonus, most of you probably consume caffeine on a regular basis, and I want to suggest you a supplement that pairs well with it: L-theanine. L-theanine is an amino acid found naturally in green tea that, when combined with caffeine, smooths out the jitteriness and anxiety that caffeine alone can cause while keeping all the focus and alertness. The combination produces a cleaner, more sustained state of calm focus that feels noticeably different from a coffee on its own. I've personally had great results using it, so this is the only supplement I'm going to suggest in this video. So, in conclusion, you are not going to find a real-life NZT48, but following these simple lifestyle changes, you can improve your life dramatically in a pretty inexpensive way. If you like this video, please subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next one.